Hello Clouds, today I am here to show you how to trace your cigarette pants using my patterns. First of all, I will request you to download the patterns again because we have a new version of these patterns. I correct some things that I was missing before, so download it again. You have the download link in the description box below this video. Also there you have the link to the video tutorial about how to cut and stitch these pants. Once you have the file, I will tell you how to proceed. First of all, you need to locate the file on your computer and open it. And once you have it, let's see what we have inside. In the first page of the pattern, you have the information about the pattern and some useful links you can use. In the next page, you have very important information that you need to consider before to start making your patterns, most of all if it's your first time making pants. You can read this information carefully at home with enough time. Now I only want to remark 2 points. The first point is over here and is about your fabric. If your fabric is not stretched, you need to add 1.5 or 2 inch more for loosing to your original measurements. The second point I want to remark is over here, and is that I recommend you to make these patterns in centimeters, not inch in this time, because we need to be so exact when tracing pants patterns, and every millimeter counts, so trace it in centimeters this time. Once you have clear all this information of this page, let's go to the next one. In this page you have the instructions to start tracing your patterns. In the right side here you have the step-by-step you have to follow to trace this pattern that is in the left side. Let me show you how I made it. First of all, you have to construct this rectangle which it will be the base for your patterns. From A to B you have the fourth part of your hips contour, reducing 1 centimeter. Then from B to D you have the crotch depth. How to measure the crotch depth is in the first page of this pattern. Then once you have this angle, only square lines, this one and this one, to construct your rectangle. And then let's follow the numbers I put here in the same order to mark these points. The point number 1 is a crotch vertical guide, and we have it over here. To mark it, starting from the upwards in this line, you have to divide your hips contour by 12 and the result mark it here. Then from this point you have to trace this line, a square line to the left until you reach the line AC, and there mark the point number 1 prime. The point number 2 is extension to this line, to the baseline of your rectangle, so extend this line, and from the point D to the right you have to divide your hips contour by 16 and mark it here. The point 3 is the waistline. You have to mark 1/4 part of your waist contour, reducing 1 centimeter, and mark it over here. Then add 3 centimeters extra for the dart, and then in that point mark the point number 3. Now you need to locate the central line of your pattern. For that you have to divide B3, this segment, in half, and in that half point, in the middle point, a square line going down as long as you want your pant. Okay, then once you have your central line, from the waist line to down you have to mark the length of your knee. That is measurement from your waist to your knee, and mark it here in the central line, and that will be your point 4. In that point 4 you have to trace this horizontal line. In total, that line, it has to be half of your knee contour, reducing 1 centimeter. Obviously, half of that measurement you have to mark it to the right of the center line and the other half to the left of the center line. Then from the waistline to down, in the central line, mark the measurement from your waist to your ankle and mark the point number 5. There you have to trace again an horizontal line, and that horizontal line, it has to be half of your ankle contour, reducing 1 centimeter. Then you have to join the point 3 with the point 1 prime with this angle line to get the shape of the side of your pant. Let's go to the next page. In this one you have the instructions to trace the contour of your front pattern. For that you need to mark some secondary points, which I mark with lower cases letters here in red color. So you have to start in the same order I told you here in the instructions. Let's start with the point E. For the point E, you have to divide the line 3, 1 prime divided in half, and in the middle point, square outside half centimeter, and there mark the point E. For the point F, you have to start from the point B, going to the right in this line, mark half centimeter, and there you have to square upwards this line until you reach the level of the line 1, 1 prime, and there mark the point F. For the point G, you need to trace a bisector guide here. You have all the information about bisectors here. Once you trace the bisector line from the point D, in that bisector line divide your hips contour by 32 and mark it here, and that is your point G. Now, the segment 2, 4B, you have to divide it by 3, and in the first point here, you have to square inside 8 millimeters, and in the second point you have to square inside 7 millimeters. Those will be your points H and I. Then you can trace the contour of your pant, join all these points from 3, passing from B, F, G to H, I, 4B, 5B, 5A, 4A, C, 1 prime, E, and 3. Now you can trace your dart. To trace your dart from the center line to the left, mark the width of your dart. In this case is 3 centimeters, so mark 3 centimeters here. Then mark the half point, the middle point of those 3 centimeters, and square a line down. This will be the central line of your dart. How much you have to square is 1/3 part of the segment BD. That means you have to divide the segment BD in 3 parts, and in the first part, there you have the length of your dart. Then that point, only join it with these 2 points to build your dart. In the next page, you have the instructions to trace the back part of your pattern. You have to trace it based on the front part of your pattern. That means you need to make another copy of your front pattern. Here, in the previous page, we have our front pattern ready. Now make another copy of this pattern with all the points and lines, and in that copy we will make some modifications to get the back pattern ready. So in this page I work with letters also, lowercase, in blue color. First of all, you need to locate the point J. That point is the central line point. Where the central line touches the waistline, this is your point J. From this point to the right, we have now the segment JB. This segment you have to divide it in half and then add 1 centimeter more to the right, and there you have to mark the point K. Now, from the point K to the left, you have to extend the waistline of your front pattern, and in that line you have to mark the following: 1/4 part of your waist contour, then add the dart width, which is 3 centimeters, and then add 1 centimeter more and mark it here, and that will be your point L. Now the point M, you have to follow this order I am marking you here. For the point M, you have to extend the line C2, extend it to the right, And from the point 2 to the right, you have to divide your hips contour by 16, reduce 2 centimeters, and then mark it here, and that will be your point M. For the point N, you have to extend this line to the left, and from the point 1 prime to the left, mark 2 centimeters, and that will be your point N. Now for the point O, you have to extend this line, the line C2, to the left, and mark in that line, mark 1.5 centimeter to the left, and that is your point O. Now you need to extend the line of your knee and also extend the line of your ankle 1 centimeter outside to every side. Just extend this line, and from the point 4B, extend 1 centimeter to the right, and for the point 4A, extend 1 centimeter to the left. Do the same with the points 5B and 5A. In that way, you will have the points 4C and 4D and 5C and 5D. Once you have these points, you have to join them with straight lines and then continue with the next step. The segment M4D, this line, you have to divide it in 3 parts. And in the first point, you have to square inside 8 millimeters. And in the second point, you have to square inside 7 millimeters. That will give you the points P and Q. Now, for the point R, you have to divide the segment LN in half, and in the middle point, square outside ½ millimeter, and that is your point R. Now, the point S, in this line, the same line M for D, you have to go down 1 centimeter and mark the point S. And now, in this line of your front pattern, the line 2, 4B, go down by ½ centimeter and mark the point T. Next step is set your L-shaped roller here, touching the point L, the point K, and the point F, and trace this angle line, which is the new waistline for your back pattern. And in this corner that you will get when you trace this angle, we will call it K prime. Now you can just join the points, all the points we mark to trace the contour of your pant is starting from L, K prime, K, F, T, S, 4D, 5D, 5C, 4C, O, N, R, and again L. Now you can trace your dart. To trace the dart of the back pattern, you have to divide this line, the line L, K prime, in half. In that point, square a line down, and that will be the center line of your dart. Now mark the half of your width of your dart to the left and the other half to the right. My dart in this case is 3 centimeters, so I will mark 1.5 centimeter to the right and 1.5 centimeter to the left here. And the length of my dart in this case, it will be 13 centimeters. So mark 13 centimeters down and then join with the points here and here to build the dart. Again, all the instructions, you have it here. And there you have your back pattern and your front patterns ready. But before to proceed to the next page, I want to explain you some things that is so important when making pants. If you remember, let's go to the first page. When we mark the waist and when we use the hips and ankle and knee contours, we reduce 1 centimeter to all these measurements for the front pattern. That 1 centimeter, we reduce it because if you notice when you are wearing pants, the side seams of your pants is coming slightly to the front of your body. So to give that effect, we need to reduce that centimeter in the front pattern, and then you will add that 1 centimeter in the back pattern. So that will make your pant match with the natural shape of your body. Okay, now once you have your front and back patterns, in the next page you have the instructions to cut the belt piece and the bottom pieces. This design of the pants, of cigarette pants, it has a bottom lining piece. You need two pieces of this with the following measurements. In this side, in the base, it has to be half of the bottom line of your pant, and you have to add 20 centimeters for adjustments if you need it. In this sides is 9 centimeters, and you have to cut it in the folded part of the fabric, but you have to fold it twice to get two pieces. And here the belt piece, in this side it has to be half of your waistline contour, adding 10 centimeters also for adjustments and also for the buttonhole and the button. In this side is 7 centimeters. And that's it. If you need more information about fabric calculation, you can check my blog. I have all the information there. And remember, check the description box below this video because there you have the link to the video tutorial for these pants and also the link to download this pattern.